but we are going to move as fast as we can, but we want you to be safe.
You have emergency powers just like I do, and I'm exercising my emergency powers. You have to exercise them also.
I did exercise them.
That's a long time a week. Everyone's standing in front of their house. They want to go to work, and they're not allowed to do it.
In this video today, President Trump humiliates Mayor Karen Bass to her face in front of other city officials when things got heated over what citizens on the ground are demanding from the mayor. Also, breaking news from Pete Hegseth's confirmation vote in the Senate tonight. But let's start where the meeting gets juicy about the issue where it's going to take 18 months.
I would ask that the local officials, because we're going to essentially waive all federal permits. We're going to have you go very quickly because a federal permit can take 10 years. We're not going to do that. We don't want to take 10 days. I would. So we're declaring this a national emergency. By doing that, I can give you immediate permits. I'd ask that the local permitting process be the same. Some of the people were saying they're going to be forced to wait 18 months for their permits, and I don't think you're going to do that. I can't imagine that. So they are literally in a position right now they'd like to start tonight, and they'll clean their site, they'll do everything. They just want to start, and they were very concerned with the 18 months. So I'm sure you can get it down to, I would say, not even 18 days. They are ready, Mayor. They are ready to start. I met so many of them. The fire took place. It's nice and cool there now, and they want to start taking the debris. They want to take the debris. They want to do everything. They'll get rid of everything. They're going to do it by their own hand, and you're going to see some amazing things happen. So we're waiving the federal permits. Either waive them or give them to you so rapidly it's going to be essentially the same thing, but we're going to try and just waive them. And we'll rely on the local, but the local, I hope, is going to do the same exact thing. They're literally ready to start right away tonight.
Now, when you first see that clip, you might be thinking, man, Trump he's a little aggressive here. Well, you're about to find out why. Because I honestly believe when you see these clips, you'll see that he's actually talking on behalf of the homeowners. And he's not the mayor or the governor. He's the president of the United States, and he absolutely schools Mayor Karen Bass on this entire situation. But I want to stick to the facts first, and that is what the Army Corps of Engineers has came out officially and stated in order to clear the debris is going to take up to 18 months. Now think about that. If you're a homeowner, you lost your home, it's ashes or some of it is still standing, you can't even access your home until the Army Corps of Engineers clears the debris, because Mayor Karen Bass is of the mindset that she won't allow you to do it. She wants them to do it. And so, of course, Trump has something to say about that as well. But let's read the article so you guys can see it for yourself. Here's the article published by Washington Post. It's titled, "Los Angeles Begins Long Recovery from Fires and Braces for New Disasters." Now, in the article, it goes on to say this, and the trouble won't end soon. Officials released details Wednesday about the complex recovery effort expected to last for up to 18 months as authorities work to clear the wreckage. The new timeline comes amid mounting anxiety among residents who feel locked in limbo, unsure of when they might be able to return home or rebuild. Of course, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass said this, quote, "We have to function on multiple levels. We have to continue with the response to the fires while we anticipate rains and also our focus on recovery all at the same time." Now, what's interesting is later in the article, they're stating that they're not even going to be able to remove the debris until March. I mean, that's a whole other month until that happens. And this is according to Colonel Eric Swinson, who is the commander of the Army Corps of Engineers. This is what the article says, where the flames destroyed block after block. Meanwhile, work to clear out heaps of debris could begin as soon as March. And once it does begin, it could take about 18 months to complete. This is according to Colonel Eric Swinson. Officials said that the $550 million budget allotted for the work may need to grow. Yeah, we all know that already. And this is the same colonel who led the debris removal process after fires destroyed structures on about 1,600 land parcels in Maui of last year. And it took them 9 months in order to complete that. So now that you know what the facts are, that Army Corps of Engineers have stated officially it's going to take up to 18 months, you can now understand why Trump is putting pressure on the mayor to look past that and say, no, we can't wait 18 months, right? So here he is again, and this is where it really gets embarrassing because it's almost as if she thinks she knows better than President Trump, who clearly has been a successful real estate developer. But hey, he's only the president, right? So here he is once again schooling Mayor Karen Bass.
You mentioned a couple of things in terms of us expediting. So I signed executive directives right away so that we could cut the red tape, we could get people back building as fast as possible, and we're going to continue doing that.
Yeah, the one thing is they
Yes.
are saying they will not be allowed to start for 18 months.
No, that will not be the case.
Okay, I just hope
That
you're
will
right.
not, you can hold me to it.
Because 4 groups said that. and
No,
That would be, they should
No,
be able
that-
to do it. They should be able to start tonight.
that will not be the case. You know, first we have to take care, to make sure that there's not getting rid of the hazardous waste, cleaning things up so that people can start right away. And just like you said, if somebody had their house was destroyed and they're going to rebuild essentially the same, maybe a little bit longer, a little bit higher, they really shouldn't have to go through much of a process. So I want you to know that we are expediting that. We absolutely need your help. We need the federal help. You're a
You got it,
builder.
I told you. You will have no permit problem. There will be 0 delay. And as far as I'm concerned, you already have the permits.
Now, one has to ask themselves, why is she behaving this way towards the president of the United States? Well, let's be honest. I mean, you're talking about an individual that brings it out of people, okay? He's a polarizing person. So you don't see them act this way until he comes in the room. But here's the problem. If you're going to act that way, you better be on your P's and Q's. And last time we checked, you weren't even in the country when your city was starting to burn. So she has no leg to stand on. And so for her to try to defend whatever she says she's going to do or she hasn't done is really out of touch here.
And the resource.
I am more worried because I met at least 8 groups of homeowners, and I'm much more worried about the fact that they said it's 18 months exactly, and they were devastated. They want to start now. They want to start removing things. They're not allowed to do it now. And you mentioned hazardous waste. Well, the hazardous waste. What's hazardous waste? I mean, you're going to have to define that. We're going to go through a whole series of questions on determining what's hazardous.
Nope.
I just think you have to allow the people to go on their site and start the process tonight.
And we will.
Okay, good.
You can come back and check.
Now, I know there are going to be people that say, man, I think he's making this entire situation feel a little uncomfortable. Yes, he should, because at the end of the day, she failed the citizens of Los Angeles County. No question. All right. Governor Gavin Newsom has failed the citizens of California. There's no question. This is a common disaster that happens in our state. We should never be caught off guard, not in that way, even if it's historic wins. We should have been staged, right? Resources should have been on standby. It was reactionary every step of the way, which costed unnecessary structures, people's lives in some cases. So yeah, I want him to make her feel uncomfortable. I want him to apply pressure because these leaders, who else is going to hold them accountable? Now, if you guys don't think that is enough nonsense from her, take a look at this.
And the number one thing that we are going to do immediately, and you will see this happen, is to clear out the debris. And we're concerned right now over the weekend because of the potential rain, but we are going to move as fast as we can, but we want you to be safe. And we want you to be back in your homes immediately.
But the people are willing to clean out their own debris. It doesn't
Yes,
cost a
and
lot.
they can.
You
And
should
they are
let them
able
do
to-
it because
No,
by the
they
time you
can do
hire
that.
contractors, it's
Right.
going to be 2 years.
If a family.
People are willing to get a dumpster and do it themselves and clean it out.
And they can
There's
do
not that much left. It's all incinerated.
That's right.
And, it's just going to take a long time if you do. You can do some of it, but a lot of these people, I know that guy right there that's talking. I know my people. You'll be on that thing tonight, throwing the stuff away, and your site it'll look perfect within 24 hours, and that's what he wants to do. He doesn't want to wait around for 7 months till the city hires some demolition contract
If
that's going to
individuals
charge him
want to build-
$25,000 to do his lot.
Okay, let me just say this really quick. Is the Army Corps of Engineers absolutely necessary in this process? Yes, because they can access areas regular civilians or homeowners cannot. Okay, that's common sense right there. But there are also some areas where it's wasting the Army Corps of Engineers time. Okay, I'm sure if they really allowed the citizens to take ownership of the rebuild process, this would go twice as fast. But remember, the government wants to control. They want to have their hands on it. And why is that? Because they don't believe they can trust their citizens to do the right thing. And I'm sure there are people out there that say, well, there's also liability issues if somebody gets hurt, etc. We'll have them sign a waiver. If someone wants to clean up the debris on their property, let them do it. Hey, sign this waiver. If you hurt yourself, it's on you. But again, we're talking common sense, and I believe the mayor is allergic to that.
I think you have emergency powers just like I do, and I'm exercising my emergency powers. You have to exercise them also.
I did exercise them.
Because I looked,
signed
I mean,
an
you have a very
emergency
powerful
declaration.
emergency power, and you
Yes.
can do everything within 24 hours.
Yes. And if individuals want to clear out their property, they can. Well, yes, but you know that you will be able to go back soon.
Mr. President.
We think within a week.
That's a long time, a week. I'll be honest. To me, everyone's standing in front of their house. They want to go to work, and they're not allowed to do it.
And the most
a
important
week
thing
is
is
a
for
long
people to
time.
be safe.
They're safe.
That is just too funny. She got owned by a reporter who said, well, you say that they can clean out their home right now, but we were just told that they can't even access their home because they're not allowed to remove the debris. So which one is it? And this is it's sad because she's the mayor of Los Angeles. She should know better, right? She should be prepped for this type of meeting, but she's not. And why is that? Because everybody knows the bottom line here. She's incompetent. I like to think in my heart of hearts, she's a good person somewhere. But as far as what she was elected to do, she's utterly failed in this department. And for the president to come down and humiliate you in that way, he shouldn't have to. All right, let me show you what some people are saying online because I just think it's hilarious. Mayor Karen Bass is a lightweight. She shouldn't even be allowed to address President Trump directly. They should have made her speak to Richard, and then he can decide which of her retarded statements he passes to Donald J. Trump. Now, I know that's just poking fun at this situation. However, here's Megyn Kelly. This is amazing. Trump states this, quote, "I know my people." And she goes on to say that my friend in LA, a woke Democrat, says all they want is to go to their burnt lots and see what, if anything, is still there to salvage. Her daughter wants her stuffed animals' ashes. However, Karen Bass isn't letting them. Trump gets it. And that's exactly what the whole takeaway is. I think this is leadership 101. You need to come across as a person who understands your people, and not everybody's going to be good at that. Clearly, Trump is great at that. So understand what your weaknesses are going into this high-stakes meeting with the president. Again, lightweight. All right, so I just want to say, again, my hearts go out to people who did lose their homes, that did lose a loved one in this disaster, including the people in North Carolina, no question. I think it's very important that we hold our leaders accountable. They were elected, and so we should not sugarcoat things. We shouldn't, pat them on the back every time they fail. No, people need to understand if you're going to be the mayor of Los Angeles, you better come with it. Now, this takes me to the next story. Someone who did come with it the entire time, and that is Pete Hegseth. Breaking news. He has been confirmed as the next Secretary of Defense, and this is what we've been wanting. Let's hear the actual official call.
All right. Are there any senators in the chamber who wish to vote or change a vote? If not, on this vote, the yeas are 50 and the nays are 50. The Senate being equally divided, the Vice President votes in the affirmative, and the nomination is confirmed.
So this is exactly what we assume would happen, is that it could reach a point where J.D. Vance, the vice president, would have to come to the Senate floor and cast the tie-breaking vote. And that's how it always happens. Whenever the Senate is passing a bill and it's gridlocked, the vice president can come in and actually break that tie. And we know all about that because Kamala Harris got a lot of flack for the votes that she casted. But here's what Trump had to say just moments coming off Marine One when he learns that Pete Hegseth was confirmed as Secretary of Defense.
In the Senate? No, I'm honored to have Pete. I think Pete's going to be a great Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, and we're honored to have him.
I apologize, I couldn't hear you. Did you say you were speaking to him on the phone?
No, I did speak to Pete, in the plane, in the helicopter. I think Pete is going to be a great Secretary of Defense.
Are you disappointed that McConnell voted no?
I didn't even know that. No, I don't know that. I just heard that we won. Winning is what matters, right? So thank you very much, everybody. Are you going on the plane? Good. Maybe I'll see you on the plane. We'll see you on the plane. Thanks.
Now, just a couple of observations here. Think about what time he woke up this morning, everything that he did today, and he's now just making it back. I mean, that is just stamina, and he's 78 years old. Now, compare that to what Joe Biden was doing, which was nothing, by the way. At any rate, so it's great that Pete Hegseth was confirmed, but let's just say not everybody's happy about it, of course. And CNN brought on a Democratic congresswoman who felt the need to continue to trash Pete Hegseth. And so what I want to do is react to it with facts. Watch this.
You know, as I look at this, I don't see how Pete Hegseth and this history can gain the respect of our military and can continue to move our military forward. I think at this point, it's really difficult. I have questioned admirals and generals at hearings. I've been in what we call skiffs and secret meetings with them to try to push them to innovate, to get a better procurement process going. And it's a constant battle as you have the entrenchment of the Pentagon and you're pushing for change. I don't know that given his background, he has the ability to do what we need our Pentagon to do, to innovate, to make sure we have the munitions in place to protect our country.
So if you want to knock Pete Hegseth because you believe he doesn't have experience, that's totally fine. But once you start going down the road of his personal character, I think that's where I have a problem with you. Because now you're acting as if your you-know-what doesn't stink. That's number one. Number two, you're also acting like probably half of Congress are a bunch of drunks. I bet they're drinking right now. Now, clearly I don't hang out with them, but guys, I was in the military, okay? If you definitely work in government, you know half the people are drinking every single day. Why? Because it's a hostile, high-stress environment, okay? And number three, don't act like your current Secretary of Defense was competent. What happened to the military over the last 4 years? So whatever you were doing with the current Secretary of Defense didn't work. So why don't we do something different for once? Let's stop doing the thing we've been doing that's been getting us results that we don't want. Now, these are the individuals that are responsible for getting J.D. Vance to get up and head to the Senate floor to cast the tie-breaking vote. We're talking Murkowski, who's from Alaska, Collins, and good old Mitch McConnell, who should have retired 20 years ago. But hey, here's where we're at. And it's no surprise. It was expected that this would be the potential outcome, as I stated earlier. But the bottom line here is, as long as you get the end result, that's all that matters, which is why Trump said winning is more than enough. So here's a question I have for you. If you had to put your money, everything in your savings, do you believe Mayor Karen Bass will be recalled? Based on everything you've seen up to this point, I want to kind of see where everybody's at with this. If you had to put your life savings on it, do you believe she will be recalled? Let me know what your answer is in the comment section below. Now, I know we started off this video about Trump and him really schooling Mayor Karen Bass, which she did deserve it. But he was also busy earlier in North Carolina doing what a great president should do, which is to visit people who've been affected by natural disasters. However, he made a couple of statements that had the media panicking, particularly when it came to FEMA and the disaster aid for California. So if you guys want to check out that story and more from earlier, all you have to do is click on that video because it's coming up right now.